so much of what we struggle with every single day, it comes from fear. And really, if you develop a practice of working with your fear, this is basically a practice of working with trauma, working with stuff that's stuck inside of you, because what's stuck is energetic. What's stuck is the fear that you have, the fear that you keep inside of you. And I had to discover this because I tried so many modalities. I tried so many things. I mean, I did plant medicine, I did therapies and like just tried so many things. And basically what I discovered that I was doing, because all of that was helpful. It's not that it wasn't helpful. But basically what I discovered that I was doing is that I was working with my fear. I was working with what's underneath all of this stuff that I'm holding on to. And when you get down to it, all of this stuff that's being held is afraid. That's what it really comes down to, is that we're holding so much tension, we're holding so much stress and memories in our body. And it comes from the fact that we're scared of something, that we're still scared of something that has perhaps been with us for a very long time. And so when you understand this principle is when you can really start to make change in your life. It comes down to that. So if you want to make change, understand this principle and listen to the rest of this video. So there's two, basically there's two ways that we hold on to fear, and that fear runs us, I guess you could say. There's probably many more, but this is what I've come up with for this video. The first that's really important is in our mind. So basically a lot of Eastern philosophy focuses on the mind. And it basically, through working with your mind, you can get to enlightenment, right? Well, what's going on in the mind is that we have these thoughts running all of the time. So if you pay attention, you'll notice that constantly there's someone talking inside of your head. I've been talking about this on this channel. We talk about stories. This is what they are. Okay, so if you want to look at my past 2 videos, I talk about stories. Stories are just thought structures. It's just like we've come up with ways of perceiving the world and perceiving the reality that works for us, that makes sense for us. That's a story. Okay, and we believe our stories because obviously they keep us safe. They feel true to us. But what's really real is reality right here, right? This is real, okay? What we do in our mind is we funnel reality into something that makes sense for us, something that we can hold on to, that we can control. That's like, hey, this big world of reality is scary, but if I have these stories about it, then it makes it less scary, basically. But how do these stories form? Well, they form through they form through fear. They also form through our upbringing, through things that were handed to us, right? But they form through fear, okay? When we experience hard things in our lives, we pick something up. That day that we experience something difficult, we pick something up. It's up to us to put it down. If we don't put it down, it's going to stay with us forever. Many cultures around the world, they have ways. They have this understanding, like the things that I'm presenting in this video is not new. It's very old. And I've learned it from these cultures. And they know that we pick stuff up, and they know that we're supposed to put it down, that we're supposed to put it away, put it back, give it back to the earth. But we don't. in our culture, we don't have ways to do that. We don't even know what we're doing. We don't even know we're picking this stuff up. How do we know to put something down, right? But that's what is happening. And that's what fear is we've picked something up, right? We've picked up fear. So back to stories. When we encounter difficult situations in life, situations that are scary for us, we have to somehow make sense of it. And also, it's not only that, it's that it hurt us. It really, really hurt us. And with that hurt and that pain, like, we don't want to go there again. Because we lock it away for a reason, right? And that reason is that we're each like pure sacred beings. And when we are hurt, I mean, that's like the deepest stuff that we can encounter in our lives is not just physical pain, but like being hurt. And so basically stories are a way for us to deflect so that nothing ever touches that part of us again. So if someone in my life is like pushing me in a certain way, like even just a normal conversation, right? A normal conversation, because this happens all the time. If someone's pushing me in a certain way to where I'm gonna have to feel that hurt, then I can create a story structure in my head that always deflects this. So, a common way that people deflect is they change the conversation, okay? Or they tell a story, like literally, that like someone's gonna touch on that thing and then they go, oh, well, my mom one time, she had this painting, and this painting was, it was about my uncle, and right, we start to break into these stories, and these stories are a way that we protect ourselves. Okay, so this is the way the mind works. Is the mind goes, hey, we don't want to experience any more pain, any more struggle, any more hurt. Let's push away from that. Okay, now there's another way, not just stories. There's kind of a second part to this. And that second part is somatics. So what's happening when we pick something up is it's actually being brought into the body. The mind is the body is the mind. There's no separation. Okay. So when I experience something difficult, what's happening is I'm creating tension in my body, creating a pattern. Okay. I'm doing something. This is scary, right? And what I'm doing with that is I'm locking the stress inside of me. I'm locking the fear inside of me. Okay. And so with that, we're going to get more into this in probably next week, actually. Very soon. We're going to get more into this. But for now, it's what we need to do is understand that there's a lot inside that we've been deflecting as well, because that's the same thing as the story. It's all that life comes at us and wants to touch on these places that are in pain and that are still hurt, and that this fear that still lives inside, basically. Okay. And when life comes to touch on it, it's not just touching on it in the mind, it's touching on it physically. And so if I'm experiencing any sort of suffering, any sort of pain, which we all are most of the time, it's somewhere inside. It's not just here. Okay, so next time you experience stress of any sort, pay attention to what's happening in your body. Like, is there a closing in the chest? Is there a squeezing? Is there a hurt feeling? Is there something in the gut that feels, it's wrenching? You're going to start to notice that this is happening, that this is very physical. And it's what we want to do with this is that we want to feel this. We want to choose to feel this physicality. This is where it is. This is where it lives, you see. So we want to go in and like notice. And what we normally do when we feel this is we do something else. We go to our phone. We play a video game, right? We go watch a show, or we have a conversation. We don't feel it. So it's up to us to feel it. We have to do this. It's there, and it's not gonna go away. We're not gonna put it down until we feel it, okay? Now, this is how fear runs our life. Basically, we're afraid of feeling. We're afraid of going to these places inside of us, okay? And our mind and our whatever, we will do anything possible not to feel this, right? It's fear. We're afraid. And so if you can look behind the veil a little bit and notice that it's all just being afraid of something real inside. I'm not saying that this is not real. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that it's not trauma or anything. That's what it all is. It's all stress. It's all traumatic in some way, right? That's why we're afraid of it. But what I am saying is that it's up to us to work with this. No one else is going to come do this for us. Now, I want to say that some of the most powerful people that I know have worked through the deepest and hardest trauma. And that's what gives them their power. Now, we could our whole lives like just decide that what we have experienced and what, you know, like our pain is too difficult, is too much. Maybe other people haven't experienced this type of thing. But I mean, sure, like if you want to do that, then do that. But understand, if you really want to be done with this, if you want to be feeling good and joyful and peace in your life, you can. Peace is possible probably for everyone, but I can't say that. I don't know, right? It takes us taking the responsibility and facing our fear. Okay, going into the body and feeling what's there. Now, when I started to do somatic work was when I started to make real progress. So the mind stuff, again, like this is, a lot of this comes from the East. I'm not saying anything is necessarily better or worse because it's all amazing. I think that's really important to say. It's all good stuff. It's all amazing. But I had a teacher who took me into my body and started to like show me like, hey, you're closing down, you're constantly closing down. You're hitting on these places and they don't want to be shown and you're afraid. So instead of being afraid and closing down, like just choose to feel it. Go into that spot, breathe, open it. Don't let it close. Open, breathe, open, open, open. And sure enough, I was working with my fear. I was afraid. This part inside of me was afraid. These parts, because it was a lot. And when I started this work, yes, it felt a bit overwhelming. But it was also manageable. And we all have different stuff, so it's going to be different for all of us. And you know, your process is going to be your process, and take it at your pace. But we have to start feeling this stuff again. We have to start working with our fear. And if we can work with fear in such a way where we see it and honor it, and we don't want to like disrespect it. Again, that's not what this video is saying. It's actually, we very much want to respect it, but we want to also say, you know, you're just fear. That's it. Like, you're just fear. And you have a good reason to be afraid because this was painful. This was hurtful. But we need to like enter it and like check it out, right? Check it out. And if we can check it out, maybe we can sit there a little bit longer and breathe and relax into it a little bit. And if we can do that, maybe we can sort of join with the fear and choose to experience it. And in that choosing to experience it, we get to kind of like hold each other. Like I can hold the fear and the fear can hold me. And in that way we join. And I get to re-experience a little bit of why I was afraid. And if I'm ready for that and I can breathe and ground through that, then that's my process. Okay. So again, for me, when I started to do that somatic work inside of myself, just noticing, paying attention. It's the same thing with stories. Notice, pay attention. Pay attention to what's happening all of the time. Develop a practice where you watch your thoughts. Develop a practice where you watch your body. What's happening inside of me? What are my sensations? Be really curious about your sensations. Be really curious about your fear. Notice when you're afraid. Notice when you avoid a conversation. Notice when you avoid going somewhere or doing something because of anything, right? Develop a relationship with this, because basically it's like it's time for fear to stop running your life. And that's what I realized, is that I can't have fear run my life anymore. It can't be it for me. And the last thing that I'll say in this video is like so spirituality is a gosh dang hard topic, especially in modern times. And I personally get really frustrated with people who like do such spiritual things, and then I have a conversation with them and they just got stories and stories and stories running. And they clearly haven't dealt with any of their stuff. So like there's ways to do spirituality and actually like progress spiritually where you're not addressing any of this stuff. And to me, at least in my life and what I've seen, this is the deepest spiritual work that you're going to do, is just to confront yourself. That's what this is a self-confrontation. If you really want to find peace in your life, this is it. And this is just a principle I'm sharing. I'm not sharing a technique. I talked a little bit about techniques, but this principle will take you very far, very far. And this is the real work. And you hear people talking about all the ayahuasca ceremonies they've done and all of the retreats and whatever is like it doesn't matter unless you're doing this work. That's just kind of the truth. I've been around it. I've been in all these circles. And very few people do I have respect for, and this is why. Because very few people want to confront themselves. So that's the end of this video. I do hope it's been helpful for you. If it has, watch another video. Check out my channel. Leave a comment, subscribe, like the video, and I will see you in another one. I got a bunch of meditation videos and a playlist. This video is a part of a series called the Gates of Healing series. It's all about this stuff, just how to heal and how to do it well, and how to come back to joy and peace inside of yourself. I pray you have a good day. Thank you for listening. Adios.